I'm still waiting for a great horror film that utilises dating apps. This'll have to do.
The romance and horror genre. So far removed, yet so closely linked. Think about it, what's a more horrific thing to experience than a dying relationship that was once great? I mean, lots of things, but you get my point.
Spring follows a man whose life is on a downward spiral as he uproots himself and decides to travel across Europe. While in Italy, he meets a beautiful woman, Louise, who he begins to start dating. However, over time, he realises that she is harbouring an extremely dark secret.
His position is very relatable. I think we've all come to that point in our lives where everything's just going wrong and we want to escape from the reality we find ourselves in.
You can really sympathise with his situation. I think a lot of people will identify with what he goes through. I know friends and family who've gone away themselves to another country and come back a completely different person. You can really find out who you are through sheer independence and eye-opening soul-searching. When I left my hometown, I know I discovered myself. My confidence grew, my focus in life was more clear, and I was just a happier person. Eric goes through the same stuff. He's lost in life, and Italy is where he can find things.
It's a long time before any of the horror aspects of the movie raise their head, and even then it's spread out across the second half of the film. It's very content to be a good romance first, and it does it very well.
But then I studied in America for a while.
Where?
New York?
I've never been there.
You've never been to New York, are you kidding me?
Nope.
I thought all Americans have been to New York.
I've been to Southern California,
Right.
Mexico, and here.
Oh, Mexico. I love Mexico. I went there with my ex on a boat.
Louise is a very interesting character. She's mysterious and secretive, but at the same time a completely open book. You never truly know if she's telling the truth or just spinning a yarn, but she asks a lot of questions herself that clue us in that she's truly interested in him. She's not afraid to live life to the beat of her own drum and is very spontaneous. She's also funny. She has the exact same kind of humour I use on the daily, so I'll admit, I was quite smitten.
He's a traditional cheesy romantic, and she's much more blunt and against convention, and they play off one another's characteristics really well.
Their romance is very believable. They constantly ask each other questions and open up as they get to know each other. It's all very natural, and the two have great chemistry to sell this relationship to us. I liked them both as individuals, and I liked them as a couple. It's a feel-good movie in this regard, as you watch them blossom.
You could choose to use your adult selves, but then you'd die someday, so...
You know, honey, just because you listen to a few things doesn't make you Oprah.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
I find it amazing that I even understood half of it.
The tone is so warm. It reminded me of a film like Lost in Translation, where there's just this freeing atmosphere and joy at simply watching these two people having fun in their life. It could have worked just as well without the horror shenanigans going on. As the film goes on, we learn more and more about the secret she's harbouring, and it gets harder and harder to hide this aspect from Eric. That's where the film's tension comes from. You're wondering if she's ever going to reveal it, or if the charade will suddenly snap with dire consequences.
Some of the effects can be pretty dodgy though. I mean, they're serviceable, but the blood splatter looks plain awful, almost like it's unfinished.
What the hell is this?
When the frightening aspects do come, they're awesome. The film gives us some great body horror with gross practical effects. Without spoiling anything, it's an original creation. Once you hear about the truth behind her secrets, it also allows you to appreciate the subtle hints the film was giving you leading up to that moment that you previously missed. It also ups the stakes and impacts the last stretch of the film. The unique elements of the horror side of the narrative lead to some serious decisions that need to be made. Because of how well crafted the romance side is, it made these horror elements have so much more punch to them. All this eventually leads to a very beautiful ending that warmed even my cold mechanical core. Spring is a highly original romance film that utilises its horror elements not just for shocks, but as a genuine issue that is wedged into this budding relationship.
It transcends conventions to deliver a humorous and warm, yet lingeringly creepy story. I highly recommend you check it out.